with you to discuss the seventh Mahavidya, Ma Dhumavati. There's a lot of information, disinformation, more than information about Ma Dhumavati on the internet. And since nobody reads a book nowadays, since nobody reads the Shastras anymore, it's all just YouTube based, and you just go quickly to Google and just check out what's said about Dhumavati, and that's it, you know about her. Or if you look a little bit further, go to Quora or Reddit and try to find some blog posts that reveal to you Ma Dhumavati. But this is not the case. These Tantric Darsha Mahavidyas have been, the teachings have been Gurumukhi, and they are passed down from Guru to Shishya through lineage. And there's absolutely no information out there that can substitute a real teacher. And that is the point of it all, isn't it? To get the real teaching so one can get true benefits. Understand? What is Shakti Upasana? Shakti Upasana is awakening ojas or power within. If you manage to awaken ojas or power within, what you do with that power is entirely up to you. How you use that power. We spoke about that. That worship of Dasha Mahavidyas gives you momentum. So let us begin by discussing Ma Dhumavati. But before we begin, of course, a prayer to Ganesh, without whom no tantric doors will open, without whom no tantric knowledge can be discussed, without whom we cannot enter this sacred path. So, applying the Ganesh Mudra, let us focus on our Muladhara Chakra, asking Mahaganapati to guide us as we try to understand the essence of Ma Dhumavati. Om Ganganeshaya Namaha, Om Ganganeshaya Namaha, Om Ganganeshaya Namaha. Hey Ganesh Bhagwan, give us the ability to understand Ma Dhumavati. So before anything, I will discuss with you a lot of information, and I tell you that this kind of information is not something that you will find anywhere. So it'll be a long discourse. Don't let this opportunity go by, because Ma Dhumavati is very, very suited for Kali Yuga. So let us begin. Amangala, the very opposite of Mangal or auspicious. Kalaha Priyai, one who likes incessant strifes and quarrels. Shurpahaste Dhumavati, Dhumravarna, Bahurupe, Kakadhvaja Rathacharini, Vidya, Virupayai Devi, Kutila, Dhuma Hastyayai, Vridha, Virupayai Devi, Kutila, Dhuma Hastyayai. This is her Dhyan mantra. As we progress, we will try to break this down, and I will show you the deep revelations about the contradictions, about who Dhumavati is, Dhumavati Tattva. Dhumavati is the seventh Mahavidya, and she is a crone. There is a deep symbolic connection of Dhumavati to Ma Chamunda. And I'll briefly touch on a few, because that by itself is a topic of discussion. Skeletal appearance of both Kankalakrita, skeletal appearance. Both Chamunda as well as Dhumavati are of skeletal appearance, extremely thin, emaciated. Bhishon roga, Bhishon otibo molin ebong otibo roga. Fierce expressions for both the Devis, very fierce expression. Not Saumya, not Smritamukhi, not Prasanya Vadana, but fierce expressions of both Chandi and Chamunda, Chamunda and Dhumavati. Both deal with the destruction of obstacles and ultimately deep, deep transformation. Both Chandi and Dhumavati. And they both remove obstacles also, actually. Yes, both remove obstacles also, actually. Both are skinny and absolutely famished. Skinny and famished. And both have smoky complexion. Now, if we peruse the Puranas, there are many, many Puranas. If you peruse the Puranas, you will not find such a description of any godhead, of any Devi. There's no Puranic deity that has such, that have such a wrathful appearance. It's very fearful, all right? Dhumavati, as I said, is emaciated, very, very skinny. She's a Vriddha. I told you crone. We've spoken a lot about the tripartite goddess. The goddess in her maiden form, the goddess in her mother form, and the goddess in her crone form. These are three stages of womanhood that we all have to go through. All women have to go through these three stages of womanhood. Only if you, of course, survive and manage to have Iholok's Maya hold us. Otherwise, the ones who are mukta don't have to go through all three. But for normal women, these three stages are tantamount to the evolution, the arc of the soul. Okay, the soul has an arc. What we understand when we are a maiden, we are full of life, excitement. We are full of life, excitement. Then we move on to our motherhood. When we are a mother and we bring out that soft, feminine, motherly side. The maiden form, Bala Tripura Sundari, for instance. The mother form, Ma Kali. Actually, Ma Kali can also be seen as a Bal Kanya. That is how Ramakrishna Paramhamsa had experienced Ma Kali. As a little girl. Krishna Nando Agom Bagish, on the other hand, who gave us the form of Kali that is worshipped now, saw a maiden on the verge of transformation to motherhood. All right? And then, ultimately, we have the stage when the menstrual cycle stops and we become grandmothers. Grandmothers are very, very special energy. Very, very special energy. All right? Ma Dhumavati is one such grandmother energy. Now, what I tell you might seem like, what is she saying? How can Dhumavati be grandmother energy? She's destruction, she's this, she's that, right? In all of that, the wisdom accumulated by the feminine as she pivots through these three stages, maidenhood, motherhood, and ultimately cronehood. The knowledge that she gathers the divine feminine. Because we are all Shakti at the end of the day, all women are Shakti. So we come back to her Vriddha stage. The tripartite goddess has now reached maturity, has now reached the full expression of the feminine archetype, the full expression of it, all right? I've already said that. I don't know what's wrong with people. It's so silly. Anyway, she is carrying a winnowing basket or a kulo, what we call in Bengali, kulo. She carries with her a kulo. She is chanchala. That means she is like, very interesting, many consider Ma Dhumavati to be a Lakshmi. So as Lakshmi is chanchala, a Lakshmi also is chanchala. This goes to tell us, reveal to us that life is always moving, always fluctuating. That is the only truth in life that we can perceive is change. Change is the only thing that doesn't change. One thing we can expect in life, that today is not the same as tomorrow, and tomorrow is not the same as day after. Today is not the same as yesterday. So this ebb and flow, this fluxing, the flux and the ebb and the fluctuation, this goes to tell you that Shakti is chanchala. Alright? Now, very frisky energy, Madhumavati. Alright? There's a reason, there's deep symbolism behind all of this. She's rushta, angry, wrathful. She's dirgha, very tall of appearance. Malinambara, malin, filthy clothing, dirty sari. She wears a white sari that is dirty. Malinambara. Vivarna kuntala, disheveled hair. Scriggly, disheveled hair. We see Kali with her hair open. The Adya energy, the Logos, main primordial Mool Prakriti. Then if we move to Tara, we see she has a Jata. And again when we come to the seventh Mahavidya, we again see Vivarna Kuntala, Vidhaba, widow. Vigata dhaba, and dhaba here means Swami. Swami means husband. So she is without a husband. The only Devi that we worship, she's not worshipped by householders, and we'll get into that also why. But the only Devi that is Vidhava. Very high level tantric practitioners can even get into Dhumavati sadhana. This is not easy. So most people in their lifetime will not be able to do, allowed to do Dhumavati sadhana. Now, she's often called Dwija. Dwija. Very important to understand Dwija. We Brahmins, when we have Upanayan, we are reborn again. And in the early Vedic period, the women like Gayatri also had Upanayan. In fact, this Dwija thing, that giving poite or giving that janeu to women, was started by Ma Anandamoyima. So Ma Anandamoyima gave her Purnabhishekt disciples who were Brahmin the janeu. Very few people know this. Alright, in the later Vedic periods, the women lost the right to wear a Janeyu and become truly Dwija. But then again, we in Tantra and Shakta Tantra who are Purnabhishekt, we who have achieved Purnabhishek, we are also Dwija. So as a Brahmin, you are a Dwija, because after when you're 11 years old, you have your Upanayan. In Bengali, we call it Poite. After Poite, you become a Dwija. In Tantra, in Shakta Tantra, when we become Purnabhishikt, we are also Dwijas. So, Dwija simply means born twice, like Christ, the resurrection. You see the similarities. The truth, the fundamental truth, the true philosophy is one and sacrosanct. From that, there have been interpretations and, emulations and things like that. So, if you look at this Dwija aspect, all right, then we can understand that it means somewhere a resurrection. Dhumavati brings within us a resurrection, a metamorphosis so great that it causes death. And I don't mean physical death, of course, but it causes death, death of the ego, because the ego desires all things auspicious, comfort. The ego doesn't want to go out of the comfort zone, no. Most of us are cowards. We live in our little boundary, running around showing our power, wearing our couture, talking crap in our own little boundary. But to truly go beyond that is, in a sense, scary, in a sense, inauspicious. We don't know, we can't control it. We don't know where Dhumavati will take us, but we can't control it. So this death and then a resurrection. She is Dwija and she gives us the ability to become Dwija. So, now let us understand the. Many people who are not Sanatanis have a difficulty in pronouncing the. You've heard of Humkar. Dhumavati is Dhumkarini. The sound is actually very, very auspicious. Dhan, dhanadhanya, dhanteras. Dha, right? Dha. So the minute you see Dhumavati Dhan, you must understand one thing, that Dhumavati gives untold Dhan. Not Dhan like just money and then you're like sick and you don't know what to do with it. Dhumavati gives you the wealth you need to truly become wealthy. To truly become wealthy. Yeah. So, we come to a very Gupta mantra. Don't start practicing this mantra, because if you do that, I'm not responsible for what can happen to you. I don't give Dhumavati Vidya to just about anyone. In fact, at the very end of your life, you are given Dhumavati Vidya. So, don't do this mantra. Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha, Dhum. See what it causes? Dhum. Yes, of course, Dharm. Very good, Dharm. Dha. So Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha. Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha. ये मंत्र धूम मचाने वाला मंत्र है. धूम मचाने वाला. In her Ashtotarshat, one of her names is Dhanya. Dhanya. Can you imagine? We are told she's a Lakshmi, we are told this, that and the other, but one of her names is Dhanya. Dhanya. In Bengali we say ধন্য হয়ে গেলাম, ধন্য, আমাকে ধন্য করে দাও. धन्य हो गए हम. धन्य, धार्मिक, धर्म के पथ पे चलना, धार्मिक बनना, धर्म को समझना. All of this धूमावती माता हमें देती हैं. धर्म को समझना, धर्म को उपभोग करना, धर्मों के उपभोग करा. Yeah, dhania is coriander, yes. So, Om, and in this Ashtotarshat we hear Om Dhanyayai Namaha, Om Dhyayai Namaha. So, as we progress, we will. Thank you. You have been my member from the very beginning, my highest member that too read. Thank you so much. Thank you. We will discuss her Sahasranam as we go along in other videos. We don't have the time right now. We have a lot to discuss. So Dhumavati, understand, has a deep connection to dhan or wealth. That is my wealth. Your love is my wealth. Okay? Dhan. Now coming back to Dwija. Again, we spoke about Dwija, born again, a resurrection of the soul. Alright? A bird is actually Dwija. Why? Because a bird is first an egg and then the bird is born. Dwija. Okay? Teeth. Teeth are Dwija. We have our milk teeth and then we have our permanent teeth. Dwija, again, teeth. Saturn. We see Saturn. Saturn also has a deep, deep connection to Dhumavati. Because after all, this is Ketu and Shani's Vidya, Dhumavati Mata. Just by her having a crow on the chariot she sits in, you understand her uncanny closeness to Shani Dev and Ketu Dev. Shani and Ketu also are very similar. Principles of subtraction. Now, another being that is Dwija is Chandra or the moon. Chandra is Dwija. From that Amavasya to the Purnima cycle, the moon is reborn again and again and again and again. Dwija. And this was because of a shrap he got from Ganesh, actually, that he lose all his luster. So there's also deep, deep symbolism behind this. So Ganpati is directly responsible for making Chandradev Dwija. Won't hear all this anyway, huh? Let me tell you that much. So we had spoken of Dhumavati, and now we spoke about teeth. Dhumavati has no teeth. What do you think that can symbolize? As we grow old and old and older and older and older and older and older, right? What happens? We lose our teeth. So someone who's very old, very ancient, has no teeth. That's why Dhumavati is a primordial power, primordial energy. That's why she has no teeth. The Tantrics were super intelligent, super evolved beings, beings who thought, lived with this knowledge, scrutinized and studied this knowledge, channeled this knowledge. That's why Tantra is not just sex, Vashikaran, Sammohan, Uchchatan, Vidveshan, Maran. Don't take this lightly. It's not something to be taken lightly. Oh, I teach Tantra. No, you don't. Or, oh, I'm on a podcast and I'll speak about Tantra and Vashikaran. If you're still there and you think like that, then don't bother watching this video. Go somewhere else. You'll find tons of such content on YT. Don't bother, honestly. Not even asking anybody to subscribe or become a member or any of that. If you're meant to, you're meant to. If you're not meant to, you're somewhere different, a different frequency. But I urge educated Sanatanis to consider this discourse, to move away from the sensationalizing of our Sanatani culture, to bring it into the fold of mainstream intellectual discourse. Because at the beginning it has to be intellectual, right? It can't be spiritual for everybody. If you're just interested, say intellectually. That's good. That's a good start, I say. It's a very good start. From that intellectual interest, a spiritual stimulus can be born. Who knows? A spiritual stimuli can be created within. So I urge educated Sanatanis to really listen to what I have to say, because what I speak is not for the masses. It's difficult to digest what I say. Yes, it is easy. Yes, it is, as somebody said, you put things very easily. My dad always told me one thing, that if you teach something and you cannot put it across simply, you don't know it. So what I say is simplified, yes, but if you do not understand the references, if you do not understand the deeper symbology, or if you don't have an intellectual bend of mind, it's going to be hard for you to grasp. So it's my sincere urge to educated Sanatanis to please step away from sensationalizing our culture. Step away from this bullshit and bring this into the mainstream, to the mainstream discourse. So we spoke about teeth, right? Dhumavati has no teeth. One of the oldest primordial energies one can worship. So also signifies how ancient this particular archetype is in the Shakti pantheon. Kakadhvaja ratharuda. So a crow is seated on the chariot, and I told you that crows can see frequencies we cannot even comprehend. Crows can hear things that we cannot even envisage. They are the very epitome of spiritual powers manifest in this realm. Crows can see everything. So a crow also signifies death. Crow also signifies death. Why? Because they eat the carcass. They're scavengers. They're scavenger birds, corvids. So they eat the carcass after death. Eat the carcass. What did Dhumavati do? She ate Shiva. Eating will be a very important aspect of the symbology, this archetype. So I'm going to go into great depth about food and eating and in the intimacy of eating. Vilambita payodhara. That means sagging breasts. Again, a direct innuendo to her being ancient. Ancient. When you're a maiden, you have perky breasts. Then you become a mother. your breasts swell up with milk, and then you breastfeed your child. And then as you grow older, your breasts start sagging. It's a normal organic process, and I'm not talking about fillers or breast implants or anything like that. I'm talking about the natural lifespan of a breast skin. It sags. So this also signifies how ancient she is. This also signifies her grandmother energy. Right? Absolutely. Crows very, very much represent the Pitris. Now when we come to these sagging breasts, we immediately have to talk about Chamunda, for Chamunda also has sagging breasts. Surpa hastati rukshashi. So she holds a kulo and her eyes are rough eyes. Her ways are rough. She has no time for frivolous niceties like, oh, how are you, hello, nah. You look at her, you either immerse yourself in the wrath of her eyes, or you just surrender, or you just run away. You're fearful. You either surrender to the wrath of her eyes, or you run away scared. This is also the point actually, that when we have the Mahavidyas are in stark comparison to the Vedic Devis. Most of the Mahavidyas are known for themselves, okay? Yes, they have Bhairavs, but we don't worship them. We have to worship Bhairav before, but they are not Bhairav and Devi. We are attracted to Devi. And then we have to understand that, okay, Bhairav prepares us. So that's a good thing. But with the Vedic pantheon, we see that Lakshmi is in a way subservient to Vishnu. Parvati is again a very interesting character, because Gauri, Parvati, was a very rebellious spirit. Husband told her, don't go to Daksha Yagya. We were not invited, right? We were not invited. Still Sati says that, no, I'm going to go. That's my family. So we see a lot of this need to individuate, the individuation of the soul, as Jung called it. So she wanted to be her own person. Maybe that is why Parvati manifested the Dasha Mahavidyas. We always see then of course with Brahma and Saraswati, we have that whole, he tries to get fresh with his daughter. There's a deep symbology behind that. We'll get into that, but we have actually, yes, totally it does. So what happens is that we see Lakshmi as kind of subservient. Saraswati also kind of subservient to Brahma and his wills and fancies. But here we see with Durga Tattva, with Parvati, the need to emancipate herself. It's very, very important. In Bengal we are Durga and Kali Bhakto. Durga and Kali Bhakto, right? So we understand that need. Now coming back to Dhumavati's description. Dhuta hasta. Her hands are shaking. Think of someone who's got maybe Parkinson's or Huntington's or something like that. They have this compulsive shake. Again, a signifier as to how ancient Dhumavati truly is. However, she is Varannita. She gives Varamutra. It's always there with Dhumavati. She is ready to give you the boon to make you Dwija, but you must die first. Are you ready? You must embrace all that is, not just the the auspicious sides of life. Varanita, always ready to give us boons. In a text called Narad Pancharatri, in the Trayodash Adhyay, we find her Utpatti story. We've already spoken about Dhumavati and her Utpatti story and all of that. Yes, they are. Everything is a metaphor and a metaphor and a metaphor and a metaphor. Everybody out there teaching Tantra, stop teaching wrong things. Because you're just wasting your time and other people's time. Honestly, don't waste time. To find a true teacher in Kali Yuga is honestly impossible. So coming back to this text, in the Trayodash Adhyay, her Utpatti story is discussed. I have a video on Dhumavati. Go to my channel and you can find that in my live segments. I think live it was, yes. Dhumavati, a complete analysis on her Jayanti. So that gives you this basic understanding of her Utpatti story, how, Parvati was hungry, so she ate a little bit of food, finished everything, not a little bit of food, she finished everything that there was in the kitchen, and then she gets hungry again, and then she tells Bhole, I want food, and Bhole is like, you just ate, can you relax please? So she's like, no, I want food right now. She's voracious. So then she just gets up and swallows him, right? She just swallows him, and she's so hungry that she can't wait. Bhole tells her that, wait, pray, wait. She can't wait. She's hungry. She's voracious. Now, don't take this eating part lightly, okay? This is steeped in symbolism, profound symbolism. Now, when you think about eating, we have 5 senses, right? Pancha Indriyas. And through one of that is the tongue, the taste. What is eating? Taste. Yes, food sustains us. But if I give you a slop every single day, you're going to be fed up and you're going to say, I don't want to eat this. Why? Because you want to activate that taste bud. Those taste buds. Let's go plural. So this is, you're taking in the essence of the food. Ah, it tastes so nice. Yum, or yikes, it tastes terrible. Now think about this. When someone says, hey, you're beautiful. You may believe you're beautiful, you may believe you're not, but the beauty angle is dependent on their validation. Right? Yeah, okay, I'm beautiful. You're validating. Someone's validating you. So you're like, okay, I'm looking nice today because that person said that. Right? But think about taste. If I tell you that, okay, look, this rasgulla tastes really nice, yeah, taste it. Then you like take a bite and you're like, okay, that's what it tastes like. But here I'm having a rasgulla and I tell you that, this rasgulla no is very nice. And I just put it back in my mouth. You may have had some reference frame because you possibly had rasgulla before, but you don't know for sure until I break off a bit and I say, hey, take it. And you put it in your mouth. This eating also has a lot to do with Uchishta Devatas actually. A lot to do with Uchishta Devatas. There's Uchishta Bhairav. All Devatas have Uchishta form. Okay, so understand this, that eating, when we say, এটা তো আজকে আমি এই কবিতাটা খাবো, I'm going to eat this poem, I'm going to eat that film. When I teach my students Tratak, I tell them that you're eating fire through your eyes. Khawa, khana, khadya. It means to consume the essence of something. Consume the essence of something. So, when we talk of Shiv Shakti and the Viprit Methun, Shiv Shakti are like fire and heat. You can't have fire without the heat or heat without the fire. Simple. Ramprasad had said, Ebar Kali তোমায় খাবো 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 গো দিন দয়াময়ী খাবো খাবো বলি গো মা উদরস্থ না করিও এই হৃদিপদ্মে বর্ষাইয়ে মনোমানসে পূজিব. So this internal puja that she is talking about, এবার কালি তোমায় খাবো, কি অসম্ভব একটা ফিলোসফিক্যাল ব্যাপার. মানে কত বড় দার্শনিক একজন হলে যেটা মায়ের সম্বন্ধে কতটা জানলে সে এরকম একটা কথা বলতে পারে যে এবার কালি তোমায় খাবো. শর্ট করে ট্রান্সলেট করা যায় না এই এসেন্সটা. Okay, Kali, I'm going to eat you now. When I say this in English, it completely loses its magic. তো কি বলছেন? খাবো খাবো গো দিন দয়াময়ী. I'll eat, মা দয়াময়ী. I want to eat you, মা দয়াময়ী. উদরস্থ না করিও এই হৃদিপদ্মে বসাইয়ে মনোমানসে পূজিব. That means by consuming Ma Kali, I will worship her in the lotus of my anahat. এবার কালি তোমায় খাবো. So this internal puja, as I was saying, is a form of eating. Okay, eating. গণ্ড যোগে জন্মিলে সে হয় মা খেকো ছেলে. So we'll speak about Ganda Yog, Gandanta Yog also. Ganda Yog is very important. Ganda Yog, astrologically, I'll get to it. But what he's saying is, Ganda Joge Jonmile She Hoy Ma Kheko Chele. That means since I was born in Ganda Yog, I am forever famished. Kheko Chele. I'm famished. এবার তুমি খাও কি আমি খাই মা. এবার তুমি কি খাও কি আমি কি খাই মা, দুটোর একটা করে যাব. মানে মা, either you consume me, এবার তুমি খাও কি আমি খাই মা, মানে either you eat me or I eat you. দুটোর একটা করে যাব. So either Ma Kali consume my essence, or let me consume your essence and hold you, augur you within. Ebar Kali tomay khabo. What is Ganda Yog? Ganda Yog, come on astrologers out here, what is Ganda Yog? Ganda Yog is when moon is on the lagna or in the same sign as your lagna. What is moon? Food, hunger, comfort, sustenance, eating. Ganda Yog, eating becomes important. Moon on lagna is also a direct signifier to the Chandra Kala. Chandra Mandala. Here we take moon and Chandra Kala, and immediately we understand that moon, Chandra Kala is associated to Ma Lakshmi, Ma Tripura Sundari. And of course Dhumavati is considered as Niritri or Alakshmi. Now when we talk about Ma Dhumavati, and Parvati actually ate Shiv. She wasn't Dhumavati then. She ate Shiv. And because she ate such a powerful being, her body began to emit a smoke. A smoke. And I've spoken about how Dhumavati can be equated to cosmic radiation. Alright? Ultraviolet radiation in the cosmos. But essentially, when Parvati eats Shiv, I think it has a lot to do with intimacy. A lot to do with, it shows us the intimacy between Shiv Shakti. So basically, Parvati was all beautiful and she consumed Shaktiman, Shiv, and then her whole body starts to become smoky, Dhumravarna. Alright, so Shiv basically with his Yog Shakti manages to escape her stomach, and he comes out and tells her that, hey Priye, I am the only masculine that ever was or will be, and you are the only feminine that ever was or will be. So imagine Shiv coming out of Dhuma, and nobody will tell you this. They'll be like, oh, Shiv was angry and said you become a Vidva. No. He tells her that, you are the primordial feminine, I am the primordial male. So here we understand that the dynamics between the male and the female is about consuming one another. Consume each other's essence, not in a negative sense, okay? So when we think of the physical form of consuming one another, we think of fellatio or cunnilingus or even kissing, right? When we meet someone, the first thing, if we like someone, we kiss them. Isn't that a form of eating? Isn't that a form of eating of the essence of the other person? And we tend to, a kiss is no big deal. Anybody can kiss, everybody is kissing, everything's cool. But there is a deep meaning behind kissing. Kissing is essentially consuming each other's energies. And then of course we have deep things like fellatio and cunnilingus, which in the terrestrial form is also eating, right? Eating. The male and female eating one another. So, but if you think profoundly, and this is just base level, like terrestrial base level stuff. But if you think beyond that, if you think profoundly, then you think that the realities, the multiverse, manifests by the eternal consumption of the male by the female and the female by the male. It's an eternal cycle of consumption and rebirth and consumption and rebirth and consumption and rebirth between the male-female polarities. And we can see this also in the Murti of Ardhanarishwara. Yes, Ardhanarishwara. So basically, she released all of the smoke as she ate Shaktiman, right? From this smoke, Madhumavati was born. That's why Madhumavati actually resides in smoke. That's why a lot of Dhumavati sadhak smoke the chillum. Dhumavati is the only Devi to whom you don't offer any diya. You don't offer any agarbatti, flowers, nothing. Only bhog and gutika. This is the Dhumavati yantra. Dhumavati yantra. And this is Madhumavati Parad Gutika. Alright. Parad Gutika of Madhumavati. Her yantra puja, puja padvati will not be discussed openly, of course, but it's pretty awesome. All right, so Here Shiv tells Parvati after he comes out with his Yog Shakti that your para roop will be Bagala and Dhumavati. So from this we can ascertain that Bagalamukhi and Dhumavati kind of have similar energies. We'll discuss later on this as we delve more into Madhumavati. So Shiva asks her that you remove your Shankha, your Pala, your Shidur, remove all of that, and calls her Vidva, Vidhoba, Vidva. Okay. So, because she emanated from smoke, she is Dhumavati. Both Bagla and Dhumavati are Siddhya Vidyas. In Pranatoshini Tantra, we find this whole discussion of Shiva telling her about these things. It's a very, very powerful book, Pranatoshini Tantra. In Kupchika Tantra, we find that she killed Dhumrasar, an Asur. Another very interesting thing to note here is Jins of Arabic folklore were created from smoke and fire. So Jins, the Dhumrasar was possibly like a jinn kind of entity. And Dhumavati gives Chaturvarga Purusharthas. Okay, she is Sarva Sanghara Chanchala. Sarva Sanghar. We've spoken about Sanghar, Sanghar Kriya, Srishti, Sthiti, and Sanghar. Alright. We'll get on that also. We'll talk about that. So we immediately understand as she is labeled as Samhara Shakti, Shanghar Shakti. Mane, she is a destructive energy. She can cause a lot of destruction. Dhumavati in Kubjika is also said to have originated from Daksha Yagya. After Sati jumped in. Sorry, in Swatantra Tantra. This text is not Kubjika. This text is Swatantra Tantra. That Dhumavati originated from Daksha Yagya after Sati jumped in. Alright? And she is called Agni Gehini. That is, she is Agni's Grihini. The consort of Agni. And we've spoken about how Shiv, Rudra Shiv is Agni. Rudra Shiv is Agni. So Dhumavati is Rudragni. Rudragni. She originates from the Agni of Rudra. That's why she is wrathful. Rudra is wrathful. She originates from the Agni of Rudra. She is Rudragni. In a text called Mahatharva Sanghita, very rare text, her Asitakshari mantra is given, 8 lettered, which I spoke, Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha, Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha, Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha, Dhum, Dhum, Dhumavati, Swaha. We see this Ashtakshari. This Ashtakshari is a Mahavidya. This one. Sarva Siddhi Pradayini. In a text called Shvetkarani Tantra, I teach the Dhumavati Dhyan from there. We spoke a bit in the beginning of the video about this. She's always hungry and thirsty. Coming back to Shakti. Shakti, the divine feminine, is always hungry and thirsty for new experiences. Shakti creates this world. Shakti engages the masculine. So Shakti is forever interested in new things and new ideas, and she's hungry. Like a soul that just can't settle down is hungry for knowledge, hungry for the truth, is hungry for all of this. Right? So this is very, very important that Shakti wants experiences. That's why Dhumavati's hunger is insatiable. Insatiable. She's hungry, she loves Kalaha, she's Kalaha Priye, always contradicting, always quarreling. She's Kutila, cunning. And she's very, very scary to look at for a randomo, for the profane, shall we just say. The profane will never pierce her symbolism. The profane will only think, oh, Ma Dhumavati, Vashikaran, Maran, Uchatan. Nonsense. They will never understand the depths of a symbology. Simple. Because you have to be developed to really gauge this. You can't be a blunt tool. You have to be perspicacious. You have to have an open mind. You have to have imagination to conjure up these concepts. You have to have the ability to do conceptual blending. Conceptual blending. Very, very interesting actually. That is the be-all and end-all of the spiritual arts and sciences, is conceptual blending. That's why the Mahavidyas are not for everyone. Don't bother going into Mahavidyas. Don't sensationalize them. Don't talk shit about them. Don't do any of that, please. Just leave it be, honestly. For those who have the eye, as Blavatsky calls it, the eye of the Dangma, the eye of the initiate. Everybody is not an initiate. Please understand that. You worship Vishnu, you worship Lakshmi. Don't bother to come into Mahavidyas. Seriously, don't. So anybody thinks that, they can just come and start doing Mahavidyas, getting them from online and, start talking about them, don't do this, honestly. Now, she originated on Akshaya Tritiya. And the day she originated was called Darun Ratri. Darun Ratri. Darun Ratri. All the Mahavidyas have originated on a particular night. Those nights have particular names, which I'll get into. But Dhumavati originated on Darun Ratri. Akshaya Tritiya is such an auspicious day. Think about that. Such an auspicious day. And she appeared on this particular day on Darun Ratri with Agni on her shikha. She may look so as she's a Rudragni, holding Rudra, Agni on her head. That's why she is black, she's burnt. Understand? She's black and she's burnt because she emanates with Rudragni on her shikha. And because she's Rudragni, remember one thing, that fire is always hungry. If you have ever done a havan and you put ghee in, the fire immediately starts dancing. If you've ever been to a crematorium and the last rites are being performed, and then when the dead body is burning, you can see the voracious appetite of the fire. Think of when we have natural disasters and wildfires in the forests. It happened in California a few years ago. Think of how hungry that fire is. You have to satiate that fire. Even Havan fire, you have to keep satiating that fire. You have to keep a control on that fire. Fire is always hungry. Now, she carries a kulo, a winnowing basket in her hand, I told you. So the wind from this winnowing basket is very, very auspicious. Very auspicious. That's why we Bengalis have created this Kojagori Lokhi Pujo and Olokhi Bidai and all of that on a kulo. We make a putli from a gobar, cow manure, and then we do Olokhi Bidai from the back gate. It just goes to show that how little we are to look beyond the obvious. The obvious, our 9-to-5 job, let us make money, let us pay our EMIs on time, let us go to the bar, let us go here, let's go watch this movie, let's go buy this dress. Right? That's auspicious to us. Woo, we did that. Things are auspicious. Yay. But the minute you take all of that away, it's like from a child, you take away their toys, and say, yeah, you sit here. The child will go crazy. So all of us, tumi nirmalo karo, mangalo karo. But that mangal is ultimately your amangal. It's a double-edged sword. And you have to walk with very fine balance. Mahavidya sadhana is all about balance. And do no harm. But do what thou wilt. That is true. Do no harm though. So all the people, provocating bali, this, that, give your own bali. Trust me. The world will be a better place. Give your own bali. It'll be better. So we come back to Shitala Mata and Ma Masani Meldi. As you know, I worship Ma Masani Meldi and Ma Dhumavati, both. So Shitala also has a kulo. In the Mata Masani Hadipanita Lokhi Pujo. ওটা তো কোজাগরি তো ওটাই তো কোজাগরি, তাই না? কোজাগরি লক্ষ্মী পুজো তো ওটাই। তো শীতলা মা in the Bengali murtis, she has a kulo. And Shitala, she is the one responsible for children's safety, keeping in control Masani Vidyas. So she is Shitala in Bengal. So Shitala also has a kulo in Bengal. So Meldi is Shitala. So we've seen that in Shitala Mata's renditions in iconography. You'll see that many places she is a crone. She's an elderly lady, she's a crone in many places. Now, Meldi is verily Dhumavati. As I told you that Parashakti is one. She is one. Like your mother is one, right? But your mother is... I have a video on Bhuvaneshwari. बहुत ही अच्छा वीडियो है भुवनेश्वरी पे, जाके देख लो। तो एज आई वाज सेइंग कि ये जो পরাশক্তি এক হ্যাঁ, পরাশক্তি এক, সেই একের থেকে অনেক রূপ এসেছে মায়ের। মায়ের সগুণ সত্তা থেকে, মায়ের নির্গুণ সত্তাকে তো আমরা বুঝতে পারি না, মায়ের সগুণ সত্তা থেকে এই সমস্ত নানান রকম রূপের উৎপত্তি হয়েছে, নানান রকম রূপের উৎপত্তি হয়েছে। এই একটা মূল তত্ত্ব থেকে এত কিছুর উৎপত্তি। Reminds me of this Anthony Firingi song, যে শক্তি হইতে উৎপত্তি সে শক্তি পত্নী কি কারণ, বলো বলো দেখি ভোলানাথ এ কিসের বিবরণ। Beautiful, what a deep, वो भी है। बगलामुखी के बारे में तो 3-4 वीडियो है, बहुत है। যে শক্তি হইতে উৎপত্তি সে শক্তি পত্নী কি কারণ, কহ দেখি ভোলানাথের বিশেষ বিবরণ। জানো না কি শিব আমি তোমার শিবানী, তোমায় গর্ভে ধরি আমি, এখন হলেন তোমার রমণী। সমুদ্র মন্থন কালে বিষপান করেছিলে তখন, ডেকেছিলে দুর্গা বলে, রক্ষা করো আপনি। So, what we know about Ma Durga, that when Shiv took halahal, he was dying. Halahal, antimatter, I would say. And then Ma Durga became Ma Tara and breastfed him. চলেছিলে বিষপানে, বাঁচালাম স্তন্যপানে, সেই দিন ভুলে কি বলেছ জননী। যে শক্তি হইতে উৎপত্তি, সে শক্তি পত্নী কি কারণ। সো দিস, যে শক্তি হইতে উৎপত্তি, দ্য womb, দ্য yoni, সে শক্তি পত্নী কি কারণ। Very, very philosophical, I tell you this. This is Sanatan Tantra Shastra. The Dasha Mahavidyas are the most profound philosophical doctrine out there. You bring me any philosophy from any part of the world, and I will tell you from where in our Shastras, from where it has originated. So I urge all Sanatanis to truly embrace Sanatan, not the sensationalized podcasts, or not the, show sex, drugs and rock and roll, not the, Bali Pratha, sacrifice something because I want good for myself. To truly understand Shakti. For Shakti moves everything. Je Shakti hoite utpotti. Your origin, utpotti, or equals to origin. Utpotti, origin. Your utpotti, your origin, my origin. So, please understand what I'm trying to say. It's not for the masses. It may appear obtuse. It may appear, too mystical, too philosophical, but become the autodidact you're supposed to be right now. Teach yourself this. However, of course, you can't teach yourself this because you need to find the right guru. Otherwise, you're just wasting time. You might as well worship Krishna and do Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. At least in some life, you will be given the adhikar to worship the Mahavidyas. So now coming back to, she's Varadang, ready to give boons to those who deserve it, Keywords, those who deserve it. Alright. She's Viral Danta, huge teeth. Now coming back to eating, khaddo, khawa, to eat, food, khana, khan-peen. Panalal, everybody must have heard of Panalal Bhattacharya, Dhananjay Bhattacharya's bhai, the younger brother of Dhananjay Bhattacharya. If you're a Shakta, then it's impossible that you've not heard of Panalal. In fact, you're not a Shakta then, you're just a wannabe. Or you're just a novice, a neophyte. So Panalal was a brilliant singer of Shama Sangeet. In fact, today, if we think of Shama Sangeet, we think of Panalal Bhattacharya. Any song, সকলি তোমার ইচ্ছা, মায়ের পায়ের জবা হয়ে ওঠনা ফুটে মন, লেখা কিন্তু অফকোর্স পান্নালালের নয়, গাওয়া পান্নালালের. Panalal didn't write that, but Panalal sang it. Not it is a person. Panalal is a person, a singer. So Panalal basically was very upset because Dhananjaya Bhattacharya had seen Ma Pratyakshikaran. It had happened with Dhananjaya Bhattacharya. The Dhananjaya Bhattacharya was a singer like none other. Such beautiful songs Dhananjaya has sung. And Panalal was also very interested in, film playback songs. It was Dhananjaya Bhattacharya who had told Panalal that, Panalal, you sing the songs of Ma. And thank God he said that. That's why we today have the Shama Shungit sung by Panalal. That are immortal actually. Immortal, oh God, oh God, oh God. So Panalal was very upset that he had never had Pratyakshikaran darshan of Ma. So he used to get these fits. Once he was going in the train, his friends Manavendra, his other very, very famous playback singers, all coming back that time in the train. Suddenly he gets a vision right near Dakshineshwar. And he says that, Dara Dara, আজকে মায়ের তুঁতে বেনারসির সাজ, মাকে আজ ওরা তুঁতে বেনারসি পরিয়েছে. Tutte means indigo, Banarsi sari. So he says that, today Ma has worn indigo Banarsi sari. Tutte to indigo hi hobe, tai na, indigo hi tutte. His friends are like, what crap? What? He says, go right now and check it out. So they all get down and they go all the way, and they had just come out singing some very, very songs that became very famous later. Manu Mintru and all, big intellectuals and artists of Bengal, sort of causing a renaissance at that time actually. So then Manubendra, Panalal, a few other friends were there. They went to Dakshineshwar. And lo and behold, Ma Dakshina Kali, she's Bhadra Kali actually. Ma Bhadra Kali was indeed wearing a Tute Banarsi sari. So Panalal had time and again this crazy moments of lucid awareness with Mata, but he never had Pratyakshikaran darshan like Dhananjaya Bhattacharya had. So his friends also told him, হ্যাঁ তোর দাদা তোকে শক্তি গান গাইতে বলছে, কেননা ও নিজের জায়গাটাকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে চায়, তোর তো গলা এত ভালো. But thank God that Dhananjaya Bhattacharya pushed Panalal to do Shama Shungit. It was actually a blessing to all of us. তো তারপরে কি হলো, that as time progressed, Panalal became very, very detached from life, very detached from life. I mean, at a point he had 3 daughters, I think. He used to groom their hair, he used to get them ready, he used to cook for them, he used to go choose a sari for his wife, and he used to do all these beautiful things, all right, Panalal in the beginning. But then as this vibe started to seep in with him, this vibe of renunciation, this vibe that, I want to see Ma. I want to see Ma Kali. I want to see her. I want to see her. I want to see her. And he would spend all his time in the smashans, and, he didn't want to go back home. He wasn't interested to sing and all of that, right? So as he was going through this intense yearning for the Devi, he committed suicide, Panalal, and he was gone forever. His voice lost in the sands of time. They were not lost really, thank God, we have, but imagine if he'd actually lived longer, how much more he could have created, how much more he could have done. But so he died, right? And Dhananjaya Bhattacharya was a big, he was a control freak when it came to his brother. He'd tell him, hey, you sing this, you sing like this, you do this, you do that. He would scold him, and if Panna sang a little off tune, boom, Dhananjaya Bhattacharya was really scolding him, slapping him. In fact, his wife had got like really upset with Dhananjaya that what are you doing? He is a man in his late 30s. He's got 3 daughters and a wife, and you're like slapping him, hitting him. You can't do that, you know. So this was the closeness between Dhananjay and Panna. And then Panna, of course, once he had died, Dhananjay was broken. And he used to say, Panna, Panna, একবার ফিরে আয়, তোকে আর কোনো দিন বকবো না বাবু, কোনো দিন বকবো না. But sometimes you're too late. So after that, all this was the context of eating where we are going to get to. After that, Dhananjaya Bhattacharya wrote a song. He penned down a song. He believed that, you know, he had gone to Ma. Panalal had gone to Ma. His mesmerizing Ma, and when he would sing, oh Ma, oh go Ma, and you know that to any Bengali, I think is just soul stirring. It's soul stirring. আমার লোম খাড়া হয়ে গেছে, you know. So listen to what Dhananjay wrote. Very deep, very philosophical. সত্যি করে বল পাশানি. Tell me the truth, you heartless Devi. রাখলি কোথা তাকে? Where did you keep him? Where did you hide him? মুন্ড মালায় গাঁথলি নাকি কোটি বাঁশের পাখে? Is he now in that mundamala that you're wearing? মা হই তুই রক্ত খাগি হোলি কালের কাল. You are a mother, but yet you consume blood. You are the Kal of Mahakal. পান্নাকে তুই খেয়েছিস তাই হাতে মুখে লাল. Your face, your hands are all red because you have consumed panna. তোকে খেয়ে শোধ নেব মা. I will eat you, Ma. I will take revenge. নাচবো তা থই থই. What a profound song. What a profound song. Even I don't know how many Bengalis today will even understand this. সত্যি করে বল পাশানি রাখলি কোথা তাকে মুন্ডমালায় গাঁথলি নাকি কোটি বাঁশের পাখে মা হই তুই রক্ত খাগি হোলি কালের কাল পান্নাকে তুই খেয়েছিস তাই হাতে মুখে লাল তোকে খেয়ে শোধ নেব মা নাচবো তা থই থই ওয়াও ওয়াও ওয়াও. So basically, Panna sacrificed himself. He wanted Ma to eat his essence. And no, I can't. I don't remember the tune to this actually. So he sacrificed himself for her to eat. Now Dhananjay will eat her to become one with Panna and all creation. Can you imagine the depth of this? Can you even fathom what I'm talking about? That's why only 9 people are watching. This is not for the masses. It's not for everybody. Dhumavati is Darun Vidya. Fantastic. And an Abirbhav happens on Darun Ratri. In Chandi's Tav, you will get words like Kalaratri, Maharatri, Moharatri. Each of these Ratris are the emanation points of the Mahavidyas. Kalaratri is Bhairavi, Maharatri is Kali, Mohoratri is Agni. So, and also another thing that, we spoke about Rudrani, right? She is Rudrani. Dhumavati's place is in Agni Cone. It is in the Agni Cone. So imagine how fiery is she. So Kali, I told you, Maharatri, Tara, Krodratri, Krodratri, Sodashi, Divyaratri, Bhuvaneshwari, Siddharatri, Chinnamasta, Veeraratri, Bhairavi, Kalaratri, Dhumavati, Darun Ratri, Bagala, Veeraratri, Matangi, Moharatri, Sarvasamohani, Kamala, Maharatri. So when we talk about Darun Ratri and the blackness of Dhumavati, you know, I think some French poet from the Renaissance time had said that, you know, black is force. And today we discover all these black holes and what have you. So it's very interesting. Now I am going to sing for you Ma Dhumavati. First I'll do the dhyan. Please do dhyan while I sing this, of course. And then we will sing the Gayatri 7 times. Alright? Amangala kalaha priyai shurpahaste dhumavati dhumravarna bahurupe kakat Tvajarathcharini Vridhya Virupayai Devi Kutila Dhumahastyayai Vridhya Virupayai Devi Kutila Dhumahastyayai. Now we come to her Gayatri. Om Dhumavatyai cha vidmahe Samharinyai cha dhimahi Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. Om Dhumavatyai cha vidmahe Samharinyai cha dhimahi Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. So how many times is 2? Okay. Om Dhumavate cha vidmahe Samharinne cha dhimahe Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. Om Dhumavate cha vidmahe Samharinne cha dhimahe Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. Om Dhumavate cha vidmahe Samharinne cha dhimahe Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. Om Dhumavate cha vidmahe Samharinne cha dhimahe Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. Om Dhumavate cha vidmahe Samharinne cha dhimahe Tanno Dhuma prachodayat. That's it, 7 times we've completed. Now when we say Kalaha Priye is the very antithesis of ideal feminine values. Women are taught to submit, to accept, to not say anything, to not make a loud noise. When we say Lakshmi, we think of, women who are nice, of nice disposition, can cook, keeps the house nice, subservient to her husband. So, Kalaha Priye Dhumavati subverts this cultural more. Oh, when a man's wife speaks out, she has her own opinion, we say, oh, she's a shrew. Kalaha Priye, a shrew. Always fighting, always expressing her own opinion. So when women fight, they take up space. The masculine doesn't want to give that space. Don't take up space. And in most Indian families, we are taught, your father goes, he provides for, not at all, but most Indian families, that when your father comes back home, don't take up space, don't talk loudly. A lot of my friends tell me that, it felt like we were tiptoeing on eggshells when our father came home. For me, my father was my harmony and my chaos. So a very different dynamics there. But for most people, Indian women have been tiptoeing on eggshells. Father's home, oh my God, brother's home, don't talk loudly. They work the whole day, they provide for this family. Don't fight with them. The mother-in-law is at home, oh my God, the wife has an opinion. That's it. She's a bitch. A witch. Diane. Ow. काला जादू करने वाली. कालू जादू, what the hell? काला जादू करने वाली. Right? So women are taught, Kalahapriya Dhumavati goes against all cultural mores. She smashes this idea that the feminine does not talk back, does not express her opinion. The feminine does. Okay? So she fights. She fights for what she wants. She fights for what's right. She speaks her mind. And that's why, Dhumavati is Kalahapriya. Yes, she is. Boom to that. Dhumavati says, don't compromise. Speak your mind. And this is one reason I think that married women are not allowed to worship her. Because if, when you worship a deity, you begin to inculcate that archetype within, okay? Your being is embedded. I mean, if you're doing successful sadhana, your being is embedded in that archetype. You're wedded to that archetype till it becomes one. Two become one. So I think this aspect of Dhumavati, the taking up of space, the expressing your mind, the fundamental subversion of accepted cultural mores. This is why Dhumavati. Men on YouTube are now invoking Dhumavati. Dhumavati kavach lo, Dhumavati taviz lo, Dhumavati ye lo, Shatru daman, Shatru ko maar dalengi, Shatru ko ye karengi, Vashikaran kar dengi. Stupid. And stupidity breeds stupidity. If you have one stupid teacher and they teach 10 stupid people, those 10 stupid people go and put out that stupid information to 10 more stupid people. And you have that Amway pyramid scheme, right? One person, you sell to one person has 5 people, and it feeds the pyramid, right, of stupidity. When women are not supposed to take up space, women are not supposed to speak their mind, women are supposed to look pretty. If you don't look pretty, oh my God, you're so ugly. Right? A parrot just flew right here and sat. He's sitting right here, a parrot. Okay, so this is why women are asked to stay away from Dhumavati. Normal women are, Dasha Mahavidyas ke sadhana aap na kare. I've seen supposed ojhas and all on the vernacular YouTube community. माता बहन तो माता का साधना ना करे तो बेटर है. तो तू करेगा क्या? तुझ में है उतनी शक्ति? धारण कर सकता है तू शक्ति? बड़ा बड़ा बात कोई भी कर सकता है. कैमरा लगा के कोई भी बड़ा बड़ा बात कर सकता है. बॉट व्यूज कोई भी खरीद सकता है. 500 रुपया लगेंगे ये वीडियो को 10,000 हिट्स देने के लिए. Samharakarani, destruction. Only after destruction can new creation begin. Dhumavati is the time before dawn, the anticipation of dawn, a new beginning. My guru said that Dhumavati is like vipers And your windscreen is all murky and like, wow. And you put on the wipers, you suddenly see light. You see your path. That is Dhumavati. Now, Amangal. I told you Amangal. What's Mangal? Society forces us to define certain societal constructs. This is Mangal, this is Amangal, and this is, a widow is Amangal, okay? In many weddings, in many people, in many castes and classes, and many, I don't know, not in Bengalis. In many other people, widows are not allowed to come to the wedding. Society forces us, accept this. This is Mangal. Get married, Mangal. Have children, Mangal. No, don't have free thought, of course. No, whoa. Don't want to educate yourself. No. If you worship Saraswati, then Lakshmi won't come to you. Huh? I've heard such stupid things being said. Foolish, ignorant, stupid. So, this is the aspect that Amangal takes us to a new level of awareness. Think of the time when you've had something really hardcore happen to you. It doesn't have to be tragic, it just has to be hardcore. And then go back into your mind and see how that thing actually changed you and shaped your psyche. The going is good, then yeah, okay, everything's good, we are lazy, yeah, great. But when suddenly things get challenging, that's when we have to really, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, literally. So, this is one reason why Dhumavati is not worshipped by all, of course. And the adhikar to worship Dhumavati, only can come from Guru. I don't initiate people, every random Joe wanting Dhumavati Vidya for Vashikaran or Stambhan or Uchchatan or chalo aur bhi aage chalo Maran. लोग YouTube पे मारन क्रिया कर रहे हैं धूमावती के नाम पे. अरे कुछ तो शर्म करो गधे, कुछ तो शर्म करो. कितना अपना इग्नोरेंस डिस्प्ले करोगे? कोई देखने वाला है नहीं, तुम समझते हो, पर देखने वाली है. और मैं बात करती रहूँगी. महाविद्यास को लेके परवर्ट करने वालों को मैं एक्सपोज करती रहूँगी. थोड़ी देर बाद में नाम लेके करती रहूँगी. नहीं कर सकते. चलो, सब बच्चों को माता रानी का आशीर्वाद. सब बच्चे खुश रहो. सब बच्चे अपने आप को समझो. कौन हो तुम? कौन हो तुम? क्यों आए हो यहाँ? कर क्या रहे हो? I send Madhumavati energies so that she can come into your life and clear away all the muck. All the muck. So she can fight with your laziness, with your delusions, with your ignorance. So she can show you the dawn. And she can make you a true Dwija, like she made me. So, goodbye. See you. See you when I see you on the other side. Bye-bye.